Hello and welcome. My name is Roy Fensom and I run Moon and Mask and Spiritual and Wellness Fairs. Hello, Annette. Lovely to see you here again, darling. And I know that you will support Dermot, but please keep your energies under control. We want to try and get through this without any of those problems. Should you pick this up on replay, please check out mytimetv.live. They have a multitude of interviews and content that is there. They have mystics, psychics, health people. Always give them a go. But today we have Dermot Kelly, who will be talking about his book, Weird, and also about some up-and-coming ideas that he has for people who may wish to go a little bit further with their spiritual and wellness aspects. So I'm going to bring up Dermot and we will get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There he is, Dermot. Welcome, Dermot. How are you?
Good morning, Roy. It's great to see you on a lovely day today.
Oh, the sun is shining and it's like -4 degrees or some bloody thing.
Yeah, the sun always shines when I'm working in the warehouse and I have a day off and it's beautiful rain. Can't ask for more, eh?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can guarantee. If you plan something, it's going to rain. Who washed the car? Somebody washed the car. I have to watch that. Okay, now we'll just we started out last time. I think we went over where you got started and how it eventuated, and you went to the point of writing a book. Now, maybe just I'll take that a little bit further in that pick something of interest in the book, and we'll see where that leads.
Okay. Well, I'll start off with a Reiki session that I had with a young lady here in Adelaide. And she's a nurse at one of the major hospitals, and she's about to become a mother in February. So she's on hold for the time being when it comes to things healing. But she's a lovely woman, and she was looking to do her master's, a Reiki Master's 2 degree, but she needed to practice on a couple of friends just to make sure that, you know, things were okay and hunky-dory. And this particular occasion, I went down there with a couple of friends of mine and we all had a session. And in my session, I mean, I must admit, I didn't know what Reiki was. I had no idea what to expect. And I suppose, like most middle-aged men, I thought, yeah, okay, let's go with it, see where it takes us. But I'm not sure it's going to happen for me. Well, how wrong was I? Because we had one hell of an experience, I can tell you. And it basically started when Rochelle, you know how the hands hover across your body and she's clearing the different spots over the body and saying, you know, for example, your throat chakra is blocked. You'll need to open it. And I basically sat up and said, what do you mean? What do you mean it's blocked? And before I could say any more, she says, oh, well done, you've just unblocked it. And it kind of bewildered me to start with. I thought, what's she talking about? But as the Reiki session went on,
were you aware of the chakras at that point?
I was aware of chakras, but I wasn't consciously aware of how to do anything, to be honest. But obviously my higher consciousness clicked in and turned it off or turned it on, or one or the other. And she picked up on that. And then she turned around and said, wow, you've got a lot of energy coming through you at the moment. And I couldn't feel a thing. But as she progressed down to where my feet are, she looked up and went, "Oh my God." And I said, "What's up?" She said, "I just saw a beam of light." She said, "and it was about this big." She said, "It came from your forehead and went straight up into the ceiling and out into the universe." She said, "You have got direct connection to source." And of course, you know, I'm lying down thinking, well, I didn't see anything. I didn't feel anything. And as soon as I thought that thought, I got a cold shiver, as you do, from head to toe and back again 3 times. It was as if, you don't believe us? Well, here's the proof.
Here's proof, yeah.
Here's the proof. So that kind of woke me up, something shocking. And I suppose that was a catalyst because Rochelle said to me, she said, yes, you need to open your throat chakra and talk about this experience. Talk about what you know, what you don't know. Share this with people. And at the time, I didn't know how to do that. So that was a catalyst in me actually putting the book together, because it was a confirmation for me in the physical that what these people are saying and doing actually works. And everything's vibration and energy, and it will work. So
this people will be able to ask these questions, I take it, when you're doing the presentation at the fair?
Yes, they will. Absolutely. Yep.
So if you're tuning in now, Dermot will be at the Spiritual and Wellness Fair at Golden Grove on the 23rd of September. And he will be doing a presentation in the morning about his book. It's an opportunity to have a talk with him, ask a few questions, find out what goes, and believe me, there's some weird shit. That's why he calls the book weird to start with. So it's something you really want to listen to. If you happen to miss the presentation, Dermot will be there all day at a stall inside. But if you have the opportunity, just come in a little bit early, sit down and check out the presentation, get the book, get it signed by Dermot, and have a talk with the man himself. Sorry to do that to you, Dermot. It's face plugged on yourself, so there you go, mate.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. Well, not a problem.
Yeah, you had a few experiences with UFOs as well, didn't you?
I have had a few, but there was one that stood out above all the rest, because it wasn't just a dot in the sky that you thought, well, is it or isn't it? And to be honest, I'm starting to think they're not unidentified flying objects anymore. To me, it's either military, which is metal spaceships, or it's organic, which is our star family's spaceships. Because you'll find that most of the technologies that are out there are using organic ways of transportation, and they're using portals and time tunnels and all sorts of weird and wonderful ways to get around this universe. And they're not just coming from our star system, they're coming from everywhere. So they have to use it.
If I can just break in there a little bit, the theory at the moment seems to be that if you see an object in the sky and you're unsure, if it can do literally a 90-degree turn, as a snap turn, it's more likely to be alien. If it just hovers and moves around the sky, it's more likely to be military. So that's just the theory that's out there at the moment.
Well, it's kind of true, and it is a bit outdated because the military do have the technology to do the 90-degree turn as well.
So they finally cracked that nut. Oh, okay.
Yes, they did many years ago. But and one thing that I will correct you on is that our Star brothers and sisters don't like to be called aliens. They like to be known
Sure
as
enough.
Star Family.
Either that or the Galactic Council or some other form. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not biased in either way, and I'm not
yeah.
racially prejudiced. Whether they're greys, greens, or whites, I really don't care. I'm more
No.
interested in the fact that I want to know why we are not using their abilities to help us.
Well, that will be discussed in my second book, but for now, we'll stick with the weird one.
Nice segue there. Went right. Let's slid right over the top, didn't it? Yeah. How's the second book going? Are you anywhere near it yet?
You're not the only one that can do it, Roy.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
I'm 7 chapters in, and I'm actually the 7th chapter is probably the hardest one to write about because there's not many people on this planet actually know that it exists, let alone what's going on. And I was lucky enough to go to a conference in Rye in Victoria in February this year, and I met a guy that was a unwilling participant in the secret space program, and it was called 20 and Back. And believe me, these people that were selected for their psychic abilities as children, and they were snatched. And this is rife around the world as we speak. So that, having said that, this particular gentleman is now in the process of doing his own interviews, his own book, but he's also said that he will participate in helping me write my chapter 7 on the secret space program. So I'm taking a bit of time with that particular chapter, but there are other areas that I will delve into as well.
It sounds interesting, and I sit with bated breath. Having read only a few chapters of your first one, I started to get into that, and I thought, oh my God, not sure I'm ready for half of this stuff. Not to be rude,
Wow.
it is in places a little bit heavy, and you really do have to have an open mind to be willing to sort of follow the path that you took. So I'm enjoying it, but I'll wait for book 2 to come out. Now let me know when the movie's coming out. It might be easier.
Yeah. Well, amidst working full time and being a father, not an issue. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time. Time is relative.
Correct.
Are you doing any other venues or such besides the Spiritual and Wellness Fair upcoming?
Not at this stage, no. Because I am continuing to write book 2. I'm also helping a psychic medium friend of mine who taught Rochelle Reiki 1 and 2. And she's written a book on past lives, and I'm actually helping her produce that book through Matt Bray Publishing. And that could lead further in the discussion later about what I also want to introduce with Matt Bray Publishing.
Yeah. Any chance that we can encourage this other author to join our authors club and get around the traps?
Sorry, what was that?
So is there any chance that we can get this so-called other person who's writing the book to join our authors group and get her around to some of the traps that we have, so that again we can promote? Yes.
Well, at the moment, on the September 23rd and 4th, she's actually at the psychic fair in Adelaide, the big one.
The whole life.
The whole life one down in Adelaide. So
Mm.
I suppose there is a possibility if I ask her, but at the moment she's going to be down there while I'm up at Golden Grove. So yeah,
That's
it's
all good.
some of the dates will be crossing, obviously, but
Mm.
um,
Well,
we're all in
maybe
the
we can do
same
an
loop.
interview with her as well.
I'll see what I can do.
Lovely. That's all that we ask. Now, you did mention that you wanted to take this publishing a little bit further, so let's head down that road. You gave me the basic idea, but I'm going to let you take it from scratch and see if there's anybody out there that might be interested. So go for it.
Okay, well, before I go any further, this is the actual book that I wrote. Okay, it's called Weird, a reality that words can't explain. And the reason I put words can't explain is because I found it very difficult to put it into words. And like Roy said, for some people, it's very light reading and they would understand everything that's going on. But for others, it can be a little bit heady, especially if you're not aware of it or you've never experienced anything. So it is a bit difficult to read, maybe in that aspect. But because I wanted to sell this book internationally, I had to register a business name. And I always wanted to go into publishing. So I created my own publishing company called Matt Bray Publishing. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a lady who's written a book on past lives. She's also involved in the psychic mediumship and Reiki and help and healing and tarot card reading and all that sort of thing. So she wanted to get her book out there, so I'm helping her do that. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I can help all of you guys that are participating in the health and wellness fair at Golden Grove, and maybe you could get your story out there rather than write a whole book. Maybe I can introduce a concept to all of you that we have one chapter each, and maybe we could do 2 books, 3 books. It doesn't really matter, but initially I just want to start with, say, 12 chapters, and you can basically put 3,000 to 5,000 words in the chapter plus images if you like, and it would cost you a small minimal fee. But what I'm going to suggest is there are other ideas where we can do a little bit of crowdfunding or incentive for your own clients, whereby they can actually help you fund your chapter. So in other words, for example, if someone was willing to donate, say, up to $20, they might get a 10-minute reading or something like that. But if they donate $60 or more to $100, maybe they get 2 copies of your book plus a free reading for half an hour or something like that, and so on. And you can do an incentive scheme to fund your chapter. But the idea basically
might pay to leave that aspect until you're a bit further along the line. A lot of people may not know where they want to go with that.
yeah, absolutely.
Perhaps if we just stay with what you're offering them, the opportunity, and whether we can get some more people in on it.
Okay, well, obviously, I'm a one-man band here, Matt Bray Publishing. When I published my book, my publisher was very impressed with the way I presented the manuscript, and he believed that I could do it professionally and has been mentoring me for some time now. So I'm in a position now to help people publish a chapter in my upcoming book, Matt Bray Publishing 2019 Anthology. And the idea behind the concept is to promote, obviously, Matt Bray Publishing, but also to promote individuals who have a business of their own. And maybe the concept that's probably easy for everyone to digest is tell your story in a short 3,000 to 5,000 words, how you got started, how you got involved, what's your business about, what do you like about it, what you would like to do in the future, and then perhaps introduce some nice stories to go along with it, or experiences that you've had whilst doing it. And then this way you can then put it all together in a chapter. So I guess what I'm offering is the chance to participate in that, because it will help all of us as individuals or businesses, and we can all help one another, because it's all about cooperating and collaborating together. It's not about competing. I mean, that's the old paradigm.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have mentioned they do some sort of healing, or they feel that somewhere in there that they've got more information that they can give. And I myself will personally send it to everybody that's on my list, in the hopes that there are people out there that want to express the interest in this. And if they do, then they should contact you. And I'm just going to put your website up here. They should probably contact you. And if they've got some questions, then they can just send it to you. You can clarify what's going on, explain to them maybe a little bit more in depth as to where it will go and how it's going to happen. Excuse me. And I'll put up the that MapRay advert again, just so that people have the opportunity to have it. Oh, come on. Isn't it wonderful? You do things works in 1 minute and then it doesn't want to work the next. But I'll put it up there. If you're going onto Facebook, look for MapRay and you'll end up with Dermot Kelly. Believe me. So if you've got any questions along that line, that is where you want to take it and the person to talk to. As I said, I know quite a few people who have to take the, oh, good Lord, now I've stopped working myself. I love live television. It really goes fantastic. And, oh, I've caught up to myself again. It must be all the energy that we're swapping around here, Dermot. But I'd like to see, watch this in replay, at least leave a comment somewhere that you've seen this and you're interested, even if it's only the word interested in the bottom. That would be great, because then we can come back to the video later and we can see whether Dermot may be able to contact you and just say, look, all right, you're interested, what's your interest, how much are you into it for? I would certainly like to see more of this going on, especially as there's so many people now entering the TV side of it. It's one way to express themselves, but it's another way to throw yourself into it and get clarity in your mind by putting it into a book, ebook, full book, covered book, whatever. If they can do that, then they don't have to be repeating themselves every couple of months on TV.
I'd just like to clarify, Roy, also.
I left you hanging there, didn't I?
That's okay. I'd just like to clarify that sometimes making that first step into publishing a book is probably a very big step. And it's a big decision and a big commitment also financially as well. The fact that I've introduced MapRay Publishing to Australia is simply because I know so many people that have written books in the mind, body, spirit and self-help area where they've spent anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000 just for one book. That's not good enough, because a lot of that money is going overseas to companies like Hay House, and here in Australia they're known as Bilboa Press. And that's all well and good, but you don't get the personal contact and you're not able to change things at will. Whereas what I'm offering here in Australia is the opportunity to get into the mind, body, spirit, self-help arena at a much reduced price than that, and the opportunity to participate in Australia's resurgence of the mind, body, spirit arena. Let's not rely on overseas companies to do our work for us. Let's do it here in Australia. So come on board, we'll get it done a bit cheaper. And by introducing the anthology book, it gives you an opportunity to be published in one chapter, so you don't have to write a lot. And it's just that first stepping stone, because down the track, if you do have a book inside, you know where to come to write the book. And we can help you. And I'm sure Roy would be more than willing to put you on TV and you can promote it. So, you know, we're all working together here. And I just thought I'd clarify that. But also, but also, Roy, you did mention earlier, can we do ebook? Yes, we can. We like to do the physical copy, because when you've got the physical copy, the ebook is easy. We can do that, not a problem. So, and you could do one, either, or both. It doesn't really matter.
We're having some good fun installing on the program, so I don't know whether that's just the load at the time. What I might do, Dermot, is if you can just run through and redo your camera, that might help to buzz it out. I can just carry it on. I'll put you in the lobby for a couple of minutes. Give me a wave when you're ready, and just actually you're better now. You're starting to, you're back in tune again. So I don't know what the heck was happening, but
okay,
technology, mate, it's a wonder, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant.
Well, I haven't.
I lost track of where I was. I've lost track of where I was going. It's nice that we can get people interested in promoting it, and especially if we can catch them at the markets and fairs and stuff like that. These are the people that are at the fairs, and we can talk to them one-on-one, and sometimes that's excellent. It's nice to come on TV and get known and be seen, but it's taking the next step that's the most difficult part of it. And well, I think books are the way to go.
Again, I'd like to reiterate to all the listeners or the people that are listening to the replay is that get down to the Health and Wellbeing Fair and see everybody there and participate in what's going on. And if you've got any questions, come and see me at the presentation or at the table, and I'll have some flyers with a little bit of information on how to contact me or what Matbury Publishing is all about. And if you need further clarification, then come down and let's have a chat.
Nothing like a one-on-one, is there?
Exactly. So, you know, it's all intertwining and helping one another.
Yeah, I'm finding doing this that there's been a greater connection between a lot of people, and some of the people, although we're not getting a heavy crowd in now, they're aware that this is coming up, and if they take the time to watch it, I'm sure that a lot of them are going to go, well, yes, I've thought about this, but I've never really known where to go, or they said it's too bloody expensive, let's not think about it too much because that's money I can't waste. And if there's a way to do it that's financially viable, I think a lot more people will sit back and go, well, yeah, maybe I can put something on paper, maybe I'll send it in. Now, I know you only said that you were looking for 12, but I like to think that if anybody was to send something along, you'd at least hold contact and say, look, we've got our limitations at the moment. We'll think about this, or can you expand on this, or you give them some background on something that they can actually do. Look, Yvonne has dropped in to say hello. Hello, Yvonne. How are you, love? Yeah, I'd like to see a lot more of these people doing some of this stuff. I think it's the next step from the TV on.
Well, it's been a pleasure to be able to assist in that process because you know at the end of the day, it's a big step to learn how to walk. You know, when you're a child. So, but we all do it. We all get there in the end, and it's all about helping one another and we get out of this old 3D mentality. Let's get into the 5D of being service to others. So, and that's what I'm trying to do, is to be service to others. But the way I did it, I just stepped right in there and just did it and wrote the book. And yes, it is weird. Yes, it is weird, especially for people like yourself, Roy. But you want to live it.
Are you saying I'm weird?
No, I'm saying I am. but no, you want to live it.
We've got Yvonne on tuning in at the moment, and Yvonne to me is a classic example. She knew absolutely nothing about the TV aspect, and she just put aside the fear and jumped in, held the leather, feet first, sink or swim. And I think that's the attitude a lot of people are taking now. The energy is shifting in such a way that people are now saying, you know, bugger the fear. The fear is just the impetus to get me moving forward. And I'm hoping that this that you're putting on now, the opportunity for people to take their content and offer it to other people via the written form, is another aspect that they can say, bugger this fear, use it for the impetus. I'm going to put something on paper and I'm going to send it along and I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think fear is their greatest enemy.
Do you know, when you interviewed me the first time, you congratulated me on overcoming the fear and writing about all the weird stuff that's gone on in my life. Yes, it took a lot of courage to do that, because I tried to hide it from the family. I tried to hide it from my workmates, but it never happened. I just put it out there, and they've all accepted it. They all knew I was weird anyway, so it was no big deal. And fear only represents false evidence appearing real. So, you know, at the end of the day,
lovely. That was well done. Well done. That was well done. I hope everybody gets that acronym there. FDAR. What was it? Can you go over that one again? I missed it.
It's a false evidence appearing real.
There you go. That's another one that you can write down on paper and use yourself. I'm sure Dermot would love you to do that. Brilliant. I love that. That's cute.
I have this way of ad-libbing.
I'm writing that down.
But yeah, look, you know, the UFO experience, the Reiki experience, I've had past lives coming to me, which I've written about in my book. I've written about how I connected my dots and my spiritual energies. I haven't really had time to be a healer or one to meditate or one to do any readings or anything like that. But I've always been very creative. I used to write songs for my rock band in the 80s. So now I'm just writing. Well, obviously I've written a book and writing book 2 and helping others to at least get into the literary world with one chapter through Matt Bray Publishing. And yes, anyone that applies will be on the database and will be contacted for further editions, or if they want to do their own book, they're more than welcome to do that as well. The whole idea initially is to get me off the ground and publishing full time so that I don't have to go back into that cold warehouse and And so I can retire a bit earlier and be more productive in the community through spirituality, because that is my calling. That's my 5D calling, is to help people become a little bit more, what's the word? Tell their story. Just tell their story, whatever it may be.
More inclusive.
Because we're heading out of this third dimensional crap that we're in, and we're heading towards a 5D beautiful world where we all share, we all collaborate, and we all help one another, and we're self-service to others. And the beautiful thing about that is, by doing that, it gets returned in abundance. So that's the whole idea.
I'm finding so many people now that are doing exactly that. They're joining in. They're committing to. You know, have you seen so and so? Oh, you're interested in this? Talk to such and such. You're not feeling good? Go here, go there. And it's not about the old self anymore. When I first started, much like you, Dermot, it was all about, I want to make $1 million. I want to do this. I want to do that. And now the energy is totally twisted around, and it's a case of come along, be a part, join, let's help. These are all the terms that are coming out now. It's just natural conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was only thinking, it's only a few years' time that I'll be retiring. And I thought, what am I going to do in retirement? Well, obviously, I want to help people to publish. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well just publish my own book, and then publish another book, and then publish another book, and so on, and get my name out there, help others to do the same. And then I can maybe retire a little bit earlier than maybe I was going to, because I believe being service to others is far more important than, working not 9 to 5, but, the 9 to 5 syndrome that we all work in. I don't feel like, I've worked over, I can't even remember how many years it is, but it's well over 40. I don't feel like I've contributed in any way, shape or form. Yet in these early stages of publishing, I feel like I'm really helping and contributing to people's joy and happiness and self-realization of what's around them. So imagine if I could do 20 years of that in retirement. That'd be fantastic. So,
and it'd be one way of avoiding writing that second book as well.
Oh no, it's still going ahead. Don't worry about that. Oh, no.
Hey. I can tell you right now, I'm semi-retired, so to speak, and believe me, I'm enjoying myself a lot more than I ever was. But there is no 9 to 5. It can be 9 o'clock at night. It can be 12 o'clock at night, and somebody overseas will want something, and all of a sudden you're up and awake and doing something, and you think, oh, for crying out loud, give me a rest for 5 minutes. But it's all so enjoyable. You get up the next day and you do it all over again.
That's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we'll go. We'll just go back and run over the stuff that you intend on doing at the Spiritual and Wellness Fair, just for people who want to catch up. If that's all right with you?
You're the boss. You're the man.
Okay, here. I'm the boss. Here we go. Dermot will be at the Spiritual and Wellness Fair, September 23, between 10 o'clock and 4 p.m. at the Golden Grove Art Centre on the Golden Way, Golden Grove. Excuse me. Dermot will actually be doing a presentation during the day. So it's all about weird. All right, so what's weird? Actually, where it is there now, it's weird. I'll go over the full screen so people can see it. There it is. And he will be doing a presentation out the front. It's an opportunity to sit down, hear about the book, hear where to let him, maybe he'll drop a few hints about his second book. And you can get Dermot to sign the book. You can ask him some really serious questions about UFOs and weird being the optimum word. So you ask weird shit and it's bound to get answered by Dermot. Um, if you miss that and you've been listening in the replay to what we've been talking about, if you're interested in not just the book, but in writing something of your own content about spirituality, health, wellness, um,
I,
counselling, all those aspects which are helpful to other people, go down, grab a chair, pull it up to the table and say, look, Dermot, what do I do to do this? Is there some way? What do I need to know? What do I need to write? How can I do it? How much is it going to cost me? How long does
yeah.
it take? All those questions that you really want to know about. Pull up a chair, sit down with them, and just chew the fat. Find out where it's going and how it all happened. Is that about correct?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll have flyers there on the day, uh, obviously to promote Matbury Publishing, and also uh, how they can apply to have a chapter in Matbury Publishing 2019 anthology. And for those that may have missed it, in brief, all that will be is the opportunity to have a chapter on you and your business, whether it be crystals, whether it be tarot readings, whether it be psychic mediumship, whatever it is. You may want to share with other people your business, your story, or a little bit of your story, how you got into it. You may also want to share some interesting stories whilst you've been doing that. And that way, that will engage readers, not just in your business, but in you as a person. Because, yes, the book will be an advert as such, but you also want to get people to buy and read the book because it's interesting. So, yeah, just pop in an interesting story or two. So it's a way of getting into the literary world or publishing something. But down the track, if you wish, we can always do a full book. And those that miss out on the initial anthology, I'm sure we'll do another one. It just depends on how popular it becomes. But I would like to see everyone participate. So if there's more than one version, that's great. And if there's individual books, that's even better. It will keep me very busy. I know that. But at the end of the day, it's about getting your story out there at a cheap and affordable cost. And we'll actually introduce some ways that you can actually do that might help you to self-fund it so that you don't have to bear all the cost, which is even better. So, there's ways.
Just to be on,
Sorry?
just to be on the devil's advocate, so to speak. If somebody was to want to have a brilliant idea, he's got a book in mind, he, she, it, or whatever, and they want to publish it, and they go through these overseas companies, how much do you think they would likely to have to spend to get it just out there?
Okay, if you were to be in the mind, body, spirit, and self-help genre, you would have to go through either Hay House or Bilboa Press here in Australia, who represent Hay House from America. On average, a small book is probably about $8,000, up to a larger book, 12,000 plus.
And
That's
that's just to
dollars.
get it out there?
That's just to get it out there, yes.
That's not advertising, that's not putting
No,
it in whatever. You do
no.
that again.
So, and basically, you're a small fish in a very, very big pond. And,
I think we're losing
and you have to do your own promoting. Am I still here, Roy?
Yeah, waiting for you to catch up. We had a bit of a blurb there, so if you can just go over that again. I don't know how that'll end up in the replay.
Yeah, and you would end up being a small fish in a very, very big pond. Whereas if you come on board with us, we'll help you to promote it. We'll
Is
give
the
you ideas.
costing similar or a better deal?
Let's put it this way, Roy. I could do it for less than half that price.
Well, that's a better deal. That's certainly a better deal for somebody that's wanting to get into that literary aspect.
And I will offer, and I will also offer to help with advice on promotion and distribution as well. And give personal contact through the whole process, which you don't get with these overseas companies.
Well, I certainly hope that there are people out there that see the benefit of this and contact you immediately. As I said, I will certainly send it out to everybody that's on my mailing list, and hopefully in amongst all of that, there'll be at least one or two that think, well, maybe I've got something to say. But I think anybody that's listening into this, even on the replay, if you've got something coming in and you know somebody, send the video to them so that they can hear what Dermot's got to say. Let them know that there are people out there that are trying to help those people pushing the literary aspect. It's not just about being an author. It's about getting your content to the people who are interested in what you're doing, much like them.
Yeah. And I guess I'm just offering another service like yourself to do that. And you know, what better way than to collaborate with other people, especially here in Adelaide. I mean, we seem to be so isolated when it comes to pretty much everything. And I like to think that we're bigger and better than any of them in the world, let alone in Australia. So keep it local.
We've only got to look at the fact that we are the ones that are doing these spiritual and wellness shows here at the moment on the TV network. I mean, as far as I know, there's nobody else in Australia doing them. And yeah. I'd like to think that coming from here, we can get the groundwork done. And the same with the literary aspect. If there's people out there that want to do the books, whether they're Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, don't give a rat's whatever. If you're interested at any time, take down the link to this particular video, send it to your friends and say, look, this guy will help you out and get you on the road to literary stardom, so to speak.
Well, one can only hope.
Yeah, we live in hope, don't we?
Yeah,
I don't know about you, Dermot. I'm coming to the end. Unless you've got something really fantastic there that you want to go over or place out there.
I could just go over maybe just very basic. If there's anyone got a question about this particular book, then fire away right now. If not, then I guess we'll call it a day for now.
Sounds like the idea. And if you're catching it in replay, that can be sent to Dermot's. If I can find it here, we'll send it to Dermot at mattbraypublishing.com.au. And I'm sure that if you've got questions on the book, he will answer them there, or he will tell you, come along to the fair and talk to me in person.
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't know about you. My throat is killing me. I'm either telling lies or it's just getting to me at the end of the week. So it's been great to have you with you. And hopefully when you've got some more information on book number 2, we'll get some more out of you then. And also, if you get people to actually respond to the broadcast, get back to us. Let us know. Drop in on a Friday night when we're doing the update and say, look, I've had some responses. and we're heading out in the right direction.
I'm actually finding Friday night when you do the updates, it's a bit challenging for me because I'm just getting home when you're halfway through, and by the time I'm ready to sit down, it's all done and dusted. So
Well, I'm not hanging out next to
unfortunately,
half an hour just for you. You've got to come in the door, sit on the computer, and type in. I'm getting action.
yeah. Look, I don't. Hey, hang on a minute. Hang on. Let's keep it clean and above board, thank you.
But it's good. If not, send me an email or something, and
Yes, we'll do.
I'll just let them know that on during the update or something we can just have a look that we've had some responses or something, and it's good. And even if we have the names, that's terrific. Maybe they don't want to give their names. I don't know, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice, and they will say, "Oh well, if so and so is doing it, then I could probably do it too." So, but it's been fun, and I've enjoyed the bit of a chinwag we've had, and I've seriously got to finish off your book. I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only got 5 that I've got to get through. So yours is one of them.
Believe me, I've got a few myself. So it's I know where you're at.
Yeah, so there's so much to learn, and even now there's new stuff coming in with the Lemurian crystals. I mean, this is a couple of thousand years old, but it's starting to come back into the fold again. So yeah, everything old is new again.
Well, you've heard of the infinity cycle, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, there is.
Well,
That's the
it comes back. It comes back every 26,000 years.
And we're about due for it repeat. The big Mayan calendar says that the conflagration is about to happen, and we're going to get 1.2 million years of new energy. The new calendar starts, and it's 1.2 million years or something of new energy, and then it crashes down and crashes down and crashes down and crashes down until it comes back to 1 week, 1 month, boom, crash, start all over again.
Well, that's life.
I want the next book.
Oh, don't be in too much of a hurry. If you're finding this one a struggle, you might find the next one even more of a struggle.
It's only a struggle because I'm trying to read it between 3 other books.
Okay. The reason I say that is because I'm writing about stuff that's happening behind the scenes, and I guess the reason for that is because so many people have so many questions, and lots of people are awakening as such, but there's not too many people actually joining the dots. You see, the minute you go down a certain pathway, certain people just shut off altogether. They say, no, don't believe that. Well, unfortunately, there's some cold, hard truths and facts out there that are very, very hard to digest. But it has to be brought forward for cleansing, for this new energy to take place. So I basically feel like the conduit.
We can do a session just on that, on maybe a couple of these. Well, not so much upcoming, but we can clarify some of these misnomers that are happening along the way. We'll do a regular feedback at some point. Would that work?
Yeah, it would work for me. Yeah. If that's what you want to do, yeah.
I think it would be interesting for people to look at it and say, "Oh, well, if that is that rubbish, is that the new?" But Susie's dropped in. She says hello, and she's going to have to watch the replay. You are indeed, Susie. We're just about to close it off, but as with all things, one thing leads to another, and hopefully we can now get Dermot back to discuss regularly. I don't know what to call it. It's not so much misnomers, it's misinformation,
What?
really, isn't it?
Look, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of disinformation, and there's a reason why there is two lots of disinformation. Okay? One is deliberate and one isn't. And the reasons behind that, what's really going on? Well, I delved down the rabbit hole, so to speak, in my research, but I also do it in the astral, which obviously I talk about in my book, and what I actually do in the astral. So, yeah, it's all connected in one way or another, and it's freaky stuff, but it has to be brought forward just like the truth so that it can be cleansed, because we can't proceed or move forward with these new energies if we're still hanging on to the third dimension. We have to let it go. It's as simple as that.
Oh, well, we've hit the nail on the head with Susie. She was just thinking about it this morning. So that's brilliant. Thank you, Susie. It's always a pleasure. And as to you, Alice, we'll catch you down the rabbit hole at some other point, and we'll work it out.
And look, who's to say whether it's truth or not? Because the title of my next book is called Perception or Truth. It's a question. Is it your perception? Is it your perception, or is it actually true?
Yep.
That's your decision.
We've done our day, so I'm going to say thank you very much for the time that you have spent, and I hope that people will actually watch this on the replay. And those that do, I certainly hope that they take the time to either send it to other people or at least let other people know what's available from you. I think you're doing a brilliant job, and I want to see as many of the people that are coming into this new format have your abilities to help them as much as they have mine and theirs and Annette's and anybody else. We're all out there trying to help people, and I want nothing more than to see people get out there and find the people that they need to promote themselves. So thank you very much, Dermot. I appreciate today.
Not the lobby, not the lobby.
Yes, you're going in the lobby. I'm shoving you down in the lobby.
See you, everyone.
See you. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been fun for me. I love talking to Dermot because I never know where it's going to go. Catch up with us on the updates. Yes, that's absolutely true, Susie. Absolutely true. And I'm sure that when we start getting this information from Dermot, then we'll correct a few of these misinformation sides. So to anybody that watches in replay, and Susie and anybody else that might be watching at the moment, namaste. Let me bless you, and may the sun always be at your back. I hope that you will join us for more broadcasts and interviews. Let your friends know, and hopefully we can increase the people out there that are helping everybody else. Good day, and I wish you all well.